Dear students, it is the fourth video about the population, settlement and inhabitation in Pakistan. Fine, and we were having a little bit extended the explanation from the from history of Pakistan and the gradual development. Well, now we discussed different phases, that how the population of Pakistan got settled and what kind of transitions were made to them. Fine. After the British era in 1947, when the partition happened and the boundary lines were drawn, like this is called Durand line between Pakistan and India. Fine, that was drawn. Okay, now it was really extremely magnificent transition and dislocation of population. It caused lots of tension, bloodshed, loss of property, identity, and many crises were born, which have been expressed by the different novelists and writers, that both the exchange remained in tension. The people who left their land and migrated to India, they remain in trouble, whereas the people who came from India and this got settled in Pakistan also had to face lots of troubles. But thanks to the government of that time, Khan Liaquat Ali Khan, the two took very strong measures. Anyway, this was really a mega change, that the people owning land and property in especially India, they migrated to Pakistan, and in the newly born state, it was a huge challenge for this government to settle them and to give them the rights of land. Let's examine that how the people got settled in various areas. People in, if we come here to the lowest part, Gujarat, just Rajkot and Jagannath, here they crossed the borders and they entered into Hyderabad, Karachi and Sakkar. The people of Gujarat, the people from the Rajasthan, they crossed these areas and they entered to these areas on the boundaries. Whereas most of the people who were on the dwelling, Muslims dwelling on Kerala and other Bombay and other important areas on coastal areas, they got settled in Karachi. Fine. People of Delhi also moved to Karachi, but here in Punjab, the people of Indian Punjab, Muslims, they would settled in Faisalabad, Sahiwal, Sargodha, Khoshab, okay, Lahore, and many other regions. Fine. Similarly, people in Kashmir, you know that in 1948 there was a fight between, that has been discussed in detail, that in Azad Kashmir and Jammu Kashmir there was again a tension, that people in Jammu were locked and the people in Azad Kashmir who were Hindus or other families, they fled to the Indian occupied Kashmir, and their transition is still one of the painful transitions ever in the history. Okay, another settlement that was interesting, the people on the corners of Brahmaputra rivers, mean Bihar and Jharkhand and Indian Bengal, they migrated to East Bengal, mean Mashriqi Pakistan, and they started living there. Clear? And many others went to Burma and other, but quite less people, but most of them was settled there. This is how the population, Muslim population, distilled, and they settled here. But many of them still, half of the more than the people in Bangladesh and Pakistan, India own more people than these two countries own collectively. Then the rights of lands were given to these people. The land was left by the people, by the Hindus and Sikhs, that was given to this. But there was another unfortunate thing, that local people, local landlords also grabbed the land, and they grabbed the land, clear, unjust, and still they are enjoying those properties. Well, this is how the people wanted to grab more fertile land, because the landowner was the respectable person, most flourished person, and there was no industrialization, yet there was no more. All the income was through the crops and lands. Well, a significant time came when, in time of Ayub Khan, Dr. Mahbub ul Haq gave a, progress plan, Green Pakistan plan, and according to this plan, World Bank financed Pakistan, Mangla Dam, Tarbela Dam, and many other dams were built. New roads were constructed, clear, and people were given opportunities to move abroad, and Pakistan got the a line on the track on the prosperity. Here emerged another society, that was the industrial society. People started establishing little, say, what we say, little factories and mills and other things. Faisalabad, Lahore, Sialkot, Kusur, they emerged, especially Karachi, and somehow in some mills were there in Bannu and Peshawar. Pakistan became one of the best cotton producing country in the world. The cloth of Pakistan was celebrated and very precious. Okay, time came, another setback to the Pakistan came when in 1971 Pakistan was segregated and divided into two, Bangladesh and Pakistan, and it was a setback to the population and as well as problem. Okay, the people who left, the Bengali people who were left in Pakistan, they were called Biharis, and Pakistani government, according to some of the political reasons, didn't pay heed to these people, and now still they are suffering. And similar, those Pakistanis left in Bengal, they are called traitors, and they are subjected to worst humiliation by those nations. This is another painful aspect of our history, that the population, once enjoying fully rights, was in trouble. Then, in the time of Zulfikar Bhutto, nationalization was made. The people were given the rights of land. The many new owners were given lands, and it is a very interesting thing that before Britishers, let me talk in Urdu, that अंग्रेज़ों के दौर में अंग्रेज़ों ने जिस बंदे के नाम पर ज़मीन लगाई होती थी, सिर्फ उसी को ज़मीन खरीदने का हक होता था. दूसरे बंदे को, जिसके ख़ानदान में कुछ ज़मीन नहीं आ रही, वो ज़मीन नहीं खरीद सकता था. इवन के पाकिस्तान में भी काफ़ी अरसे तक लोगों के पास घर नहीं थे अपने रहने के लिए. Bhutto came and he entitled the people property. Bhutto entitled the people with the property. उसने 2-2 मरले, 10-10 मरले, 5-5 मरले लोगों को दिए. This is how the people came out of the clutches of these Khans and Chaudhries and others, and this is how they are making progress. This is one of the greatest action took by Bhutto for the public welfare. Fine. This is how the people became landowners in the villages. They didn't own the fertile land, but they started owning the land. Now they can purchase the land, they can sell out their land, they can establish their houses, and they were not subjugated to any other person. It's a mega and a wonderful action by the Zulfikar Ali Bhutto. Next discussion in the next video. Thank you very much.